We are live. Welcome, welcome. It is Wednesday. It's 5 o'clock Pacific. It's time to sit back, relax, crack open a nice bottle of Canadian wines, and welcome, Canadian wine lovers. Wow, what a week coming. I mean, like that's a great start of the week. We've tasted some amazing wines. It is something like 15 degrees here in the Okanagan. The vineyard are just about to we're just about to hit uh to hit the flowering part. Like, I mean, this is absolutely crazy what's happening right now. So warm, so beautiful, and winemakers are getting pretty darn excited about the upcoming season because the 25s wines, either white, the early white, are getting bottled now. We're seeing a few of the early releases coming out, which is really exciting. I think I have one of my first 25 here. Not this one, but here, that rosé, Zweigel rosé from Roche. That was my first. Well, I think it was my first 2025. So really exciting. The winemakers are thrilling. Apparently, the 25 in barrels are going to be epic. I spoke with Shea Code today, saying that might be the best vintage that he's been part of since he started. I know he's a kind of a newcomer, but since 2018, apparently 25 are incredible. A wonderful bounce back vintage. So there's a lot of excitement around here, and there's a lot of excitement here at the office as well because tomorrow we are going to release our new Tasting Thursday offer. So, Roche Wine, which is a wonderful winery on the Naramata Bench, wineries that we've been following for a while now. And finally, we came to an agreement to feature their wines, and not only will feature their own, we'll feature their wine throughout the whole month because at the end of the month, uh, let me look at the date here. I think would be on the 29th of April. Um, I believe. Is it the 29th or the 6th? Anyway, Mira is going to be joining us in a few minutes and we're going to talk more specifically. She has all of that on the spreadsheet. But at the end of the month, we are going to do the Tasting Thursday with Penelope Roche and Dylan Roche, they have such an incredible story because Penelope is born and raised in Bordeaux in the Pessac-Léognan appellation, and she grew up in a winemaking family. She is part of the family who owns Les Carmes Aubryon. Back in the 1800s and all the way prior to that, it was part of Chateau Aubryon, the very famous Chateau Aubryon, and her family were allowed that parcel of land and it became Les Carmes Aubryon. So this is Penelope's family. She grew up at the estate. She grew up there. And she is actually, but she's from a winemaking family. Grew up with grandpa, with her dad, who both started and were part of the Carmes Aubryon. And she met in New Zealand her husband, which is a North Vancouver native, Dylan Roche, who left BC to go to Burgundy to work on bicycle because there's so many cycling path in Burgundy, and he was passionate of cycling. Then, in Beaune, started to work in wineries and went to winemaking school and became a winemaker. So now we have a husband who's been trained in Beaune on Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, and the wife who grew up on a very famous estate in Bordeaux, making Bordeaux wines, moved to the Okanagan in the early 2000s. And yeah, there you go. So they make at Roche Burgundian wine, Bordeaux wine, and they also had a collaboration with another winemaker in the Okanagan, Dwight Sick, where they've decided to do some Rhône style wine. So this is the fun part. So for Tasting Thursday, we're gonna do a Burgundy three pack, a Bordeaux three pack, and a Rhône three pack. So we're gonna start featuring that all month long. This is a really freaking exciting month here at Carl's Wine Club. I have 9 wine to taste and score tonight. And out of the 9, there's only one that I tasted so far. And guess which one it is? Yes, it is the Chardonnay. It is the Chardonnay because it's a Chardonnay. So I couldn't wait until tonight to taste them all. I tasted that Chard over the weekend because I had two ice cellar Chardonnay open and I wanted to have a BC benchmark around between my two Niagara Chardonnay. So I cracked open the Tradition Chard from Roche and it's a really good start. I can't wait to try all of these wines. But yeah, so today we're going to taste Syrah, Roussanne. We're going to do also Marsanne Viognier, so the three Rhône. Also, as per the Bordeaux, the Benelux makes Chateau, which is a classic Bordeaux style wine. And so I have Chateau 2022, Chateau 2020, and Nuance, which is the second wine of the Chateau. So the wine at almost half the price. So there's going to be three reds for the Bordeaux three pack. So pretty cool here. We're gonna taste that, and we're gonna start with the Burgundy pack, the Burgundy three pack, which is the 2020 Pinot Tradition. Also, the first that we're featuring, the first Washington State wine from the 2024. You know why? Because Pinot from the Dundee Hill appellation in Oregon are very famous. And during the 2024 vintage with the frost, Dylan went to source some very, very good Pinot grapes in the Dundee Hill appellation. So I've decided to, for that Burgundy pack, we're going to do the 22 Chard, the 2020 Okanagan Pinot. And I was like, you know what? How about we try at least one? So to see what people can see about the Oregon Pinot Noir, which are been known from around the world to make some outstanding Pinot. So it's going to be fun to have, to give this a try. We have a long list of library wines as well that we're going to talk about during the Zoom call at the end of the month as well. So a lot of different wines to taste, but tonight we're going to taste 9. A few things that we've tasted this week. I mean, I tasted that 21 Syrah from Roche. Might have been the best wine that I've tasted in the last couple of weeks here. Absolutely spectacular fruit from the Similke. I mean, we're going to talk about it in a few minutes here. But I would like to say hi to the average wine enthusiast who just joined us. So, Mike, good evening. Good evening to Daryl. I'm hearing that you got your package from Black Bank Hill and the Chardonnay. So, good to know. I'm glad to see that your shards is already in the glass. So pretty cool. This is such a good Chardonnay. Yeah. Also, I've tasted this week a few things. Oh yeah. The bottle is right down there, but a Intersection Merlot 2019 vintage that the video is going to preview later tonight on YouTube. Good, but I think that if you have some Intersection 2019, it is time to crack it open. I know you guys, like over the years, we featured Intersection a couple of times. Not sure if any of you have the Silica and the Alluvia 2019, but if you do, I suggest to open this wine not as soon as possible, but it's time now. I tasted it earlier this afternoon, and it's definitely not in his peak anymore. What else? Oh, Montepulciano. I gave it a go on the Montepulciano Merlot from D'Angelo. We did an episode on YouTube about that as well. I mean, it's just reading here. Um, that Montepulciano Merlot is so freaking fantastic. When I said that, I was just thinking. I just mentioned maybe the Syrah 21 from Roche's might be the best one I've tasted in the last couple of weeks. It's right up there with the Montepulciano Merlot. Such a fantastic wine. Holy smokes. Big, plush, bold, powerful. This is coming from, I believe, the 20. Well, let me get the bottle here. Wait a second. There you go. Here, I'm getting my extra bottles. And after that, we're gonna start some roast tasting. But yeah, okay. So that is from the 2021. So 2021 vintage, the Merlot Montepulciano. That is a. So I'm talking with Stephanie D'Angelo in the next couple days. We might have something cooking for you guys with some bunch of Tempranos and Montepulciano from the Naramata bench. She just came back from a trip, so I'm pretty darn excited to talk to her. Mike, you said here, just give me a second. Oh, I can't. Okay, yes. Mike, you said you had the 19 Silica, what, 2 nights ago? Oh, it was excellent. Good for you. Mine has faded a little bit, to be honest. So that might have been because I moved it from Calgary to here to the Okanagan, maybe. But I mean, it's still pretty good. But not at the very top that I was hoping for. But still, very good Merlot. That is for sure.
Hello.
Hey, someone's
Cheers.
joining us here. I'm just
We
giving a
have
little.
so many glasses. Look at all these. Look
There's
at
a
these.
ton of glasses, and then it didn't even give you the Burgundy 3 packs here. You just have the Bordeaux and the Rhône 3 pack here.
So, you know, a wine has a nice nose that's not too shy when you're a bit sick and you can still smell it.
Yeah, you got it right. So we have Mira here is going down with the flu. So we're feeding her with the oregano oil, lots of sleep, and lots of wine. So we knock her out with wine, we let her sleep, and we feed her. Huh? How about that, right? So I'm just doing a little recap for what like the standout wines that we've tasted in the last week or
Yes.
so. And I think I have to mention as well, this has to be the best Gamay from BC that I tasted in a long time, if not
Yeah.
ever. This is the 22 single vineyard founder block Gamay from Hillside.
Yeah. And they're the oldest vines in Canada for Gamay, right?
Absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
cool.
Planted, I think, in 87. A wonderful Gamay.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. 20% new oak. Like I absolutely love that. I need to finish the tasting notes on that very soon. So, which one of my highlight as well. So, Mira, would you mind to recap some of the comments that just came in since we started? But if you just join us, welcome. It's Wine Wednesday. We're gonna taste a bunch of Roche wine. Welcome. Let us know in the comments here where you're tuning in and what is in your glass today.
So it
Mira,
sounds like Daryl's on Black Bank Hill Chardonnay tonight, which is
the
fun.
23 vintage, which are absolutely excellent.
Yes, he's warning me not to speak French to you so you can let me sleep. Okay.
Okay, I'll
Good
try.
advice.
I'll try. I'll try.
And and Mike is on the Average Wine Enthusiast on YouTube. Great to see you, Mike. And he had a Silica 19, like you were saying 2 nights ago. It was excellent. Yeah, I think sometimes I wonder about our bottles because you know, we I don't know. I feel like when we get our wine fridge, we got to get better at storing them
But
long term.
there's one thing, Mira. One
What?
thing, I don't want to interrupt you. It's sometimes for me,
Yeah.
my appreciation of wine who have aged are not as the same level of others, and people who follow us also know that I like my wine with a little bit more. I like the tannin. So
So
maybe
is that
because of the
this
right?
one, the S? The one
No,
that
S
says
is the
S one?
Syrah. No,
Oh,
no, this is the Syrah from Roche. You don't have
I
the
don't have the
silica
Marmont.
shift here, but I definitely can have another splash here because I have the
I
bottle
had it
right here.
earlier. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing we know. Carl's bias a little bit. He likes them young and feisty. I like them a little more with the tertiary, older flavors. That's for sure.
No, but I mean, to be like honestly, I popped and pour. Now it's been open for a couple of hours. There's more fruit coming out, definitely. So, Daryl, if you have your 19 in the cellar and you're planning to open it this weekend, give it maybe an hour of breeding. Don't decant it too roughly. Just give him a little bit of time to breathe. And like I said, to me, there's not really any tannin left. The acids are a little have tamed down. So, I mean, yeah, it is good, but definitely not as good as the 2020 that I tasted recently. So, yeah, but I'm glad that the average wine enthusiast, Mike, that you really enjoyed yours. So we definitely enjoy wines at a different stage.
Mike's having a fancy dinner: spinach, sausage, orecchiette with massi costasera. What is that, Carl?
And Amarone, Massi
Amarone.
Costasera, it's the Amarone.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, guys, I think I can learn Italian pretty darn fast here. I'm brushing on my French because, of course, Daryl's on the trip. We're going to be in Burgundy soon with members. And we announced we're starting to leak out the wait lists for our next trips. And I am convinced that I can learn Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, any of these, and go on wine trips there next. You know why? Because I'm from Romania, and it's almost the same language. It's like Latin Romanian. So I should be able to pick up the other languages pretty darn fast and then help us get around those places. Call, Italy every day for a month and plan a new trip there. Yeah, so Massi Costasera. I mean, Amarone is not near where we would want to go.
So Amarone is from the Valpolicella. So
which is the other side of Italy.
No, it's near Venice. It's near Venice.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and we're thinking of going on the west side, which is Tuscany.
The Tuscany,
correct?
exactly, exactly Tuscany, and maybe I might like to do an extension to the Bordeaux and Barbaresco. That might be an option that I'm looking at right now. But yeah, so that would be.
So get this, you guys. I say if we go to Italy with members, I'm like, there's got to be an extension to Venice for two reasons. Because it's Venice, and I hear it's like sinking. Like you're not going to be able to visit Venice forever. Like it's like sinking into the ocean or something. I don't know if this is just an online rumor or something.
It's not the ocean. Venice is not on the ocean, but it's leaking on maybe sinking on the canal or in the river that they're built on.
This is my
right?
understanding that it's flooding more and more, and that it's not going to be, going under. Yeah. So I was like, we got to go to Venice, and if members want to join us there a couple days early, we see Venice. We taste some sparkling wines in that area. And we know a Canadian winery owner that moved back to Italy, where his roots are from, and bought a crap load of vines there and is making some really world-class wines. So, yeah. And then Carl's like, I don't know if people want to taste Prosecco. So...
That's the geek in me. I'm like, do we want to go north, visit Venice? Fine, that would be cool. But like what? We'll go Prosecco or we just focus on the Barbaresco and Barolos instead in the
There you go.
extension. So I mean, eh?
So look, Mike is going to be in Venice on the 29th of April. Is that right, Mike? On the 29th of April? That is wild. So you got to tell us, is it worth going there, on a wine side or a sightseeing side or both? Because for sure we want to do Tuscany at some point with members. And I don't know. I feel like when you're in Italy, you should try and see some other parts of it too. Wow, that's so exciting, Mike. That's so soon. Very cool. Daryl's advice is Venice is crowded, hug a volcano, and go to Sicily instead. So
yeah, there's
good
that.
advice.
There's that.
So, Mike, I didn't know that Portuguese is not a Romance language because it seems like it is. Like I understand most of Portuguese. It seems so similar to Spanish to me. It's just with the accents, it's a little different. But written language is very similar. So that's interesting. I'll have to look into that. Either way, I have a thing with languages. I can learn a language in 2 or 3 weeks if I want. So
of course you can. Absolutely. Hey, oh, by the way, I want to mention that I tasted that Cap Franc fortified as well this week, which was pretty cool. So this is from the winemaker at Mary Nesson. This is his own
that
label.
was really
this
interesting.
Eclectic. I think it's really, really cool. 19.7% alcohol, but yeah, 100% Cap Franc, all fortified. So a fun little thing that I quite enjoyed this weekend, last weekend as well, for wine selection pairing for Easter weekend. So there was one of our choice that I had on the lineup. So yeah, I think it's time to start to taste some Roche wine, because there's some really, really freaking cool stuff there. So Roche Chard Pinot. So now I already tasted the Chard. I gave it a 92 plus points. I believe the 2022 Tradition, which was fantastic. It reminded me some of the Meyer, but I really liked how textural that Chardonnay was. I really, really enjoyed the oak presence in there, not overpowering, but really into it. So it was a beautiful Chard, right up there with the 2017 Ice Cellar. One of my, I really, really like the 17 Ice Cellar in that's what we tasted last week, but that 22 Roche Chard, an absolute beauty. And
it really was.
22 BC Okanagan Shards are fantastic. And obviously that Roche Shard will sit for a while, have a lot of aging potential. But what we have here, there's two other the two other reds, two Pinots to start. It's the Tradition 2020. And we also have the 2024. Like I mentioned in the opening, it's the first time that we are doing a Washington State wine from the 2024 vintage. And I thought it was part of the story. And I thought that Dundee Hill, especially because the fruits are from the Oregon part, and it's such an outstanding source of fruits. And I'm like, a guy who was trained in Burgundy can do some pretty cool stuff with Dundee Hill fruits. So we're going to give it a try. 2024 there versus also we'll have the 2020 Tradition. So let's start with the 24, okay?
Okay, but first, okay, to give Daryl a snapshot, Daryl's preferences pretty well by now, I think. He's asking if Roche Chard and Pinot is his buy, or if is it more the Rhône wines, the Bordeaux wines? What's his best chance at a favorite?
I mean, if you go to the list, there's going to be some back vintage as well available, like with one or two
Yes,
cases for what we have. I think Mira, you have the list
I do.
open, so
Let me
there's a
get it.
bunch. I know that there's the Len Pinot, which is the cream of the crop. I haven't tasted. I'll probably gonna have tasting during the live show with the Zoom tasting with Penelope and Dylan at the end of the month. But
Okay.
right now, I truly believe then that Daryl, the Chardonnay, is definitely right up your alley. Definitely. So
Yeah.
now this Pinot. So let me
So just
start. Well, go ahead, Mira.
just to say, so they also have in the back vintages the 2020 Vig Chardonnay, and it says opulent style from a south-facing site in Coston. So that's pretty interesting because it's Similkameen,
The Milky fruits.
and
Yeah,
2020 was a nice
the
big
Vig
vintage.
line. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, 2020 was a nice, like, warmer vintage, right?
Yeah, the Vig line is they're sourcing fruits from different, not necessarily estate fruit. I believe that the Tradition line, the white label, are all estate fruit. I believe. But so what I have here is I would like to start with the 2020 Tradition, if it's possible.
Yes.
Um, this is Chateau, this is Tradition, but let me get here. Hmm. So that 2020 Pinot, I like to use that term from Ilya Senchuk. It's very Pinot-y. Tons of
The Pinot
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah. There
Pinot-y?
is a
Wow.
yeah.
Thanks,
There's a
Mike. Sorry
lot.
about that. I mean,
There is a lot of forest floor. There's a definitely a great texture. Amira, if you can maybe look at if you can find any information on the 2020 Pinot Tradition, I would love to know about the oak, if there's any, because I know there's probably at least 25, at least 30% oak in there. There's rich texture to it, beautiful, like I said, forest floor, floral component, but on the fruit side, it's on the dark cherry, crushed raspberry. This is a serious Pinot. In terms of price point, Mira, we're looking at what? We're looking at probably $50.
so yeah, if 49.90, I'm assuming that's including tax. And it's just a single vineyard Pinot Noir from Clone 828, 12 months in French oak. Let's see if on their website there is more. Okay, so according to this summary, 15 to 20% new French for 12 months. Hand harvested, 3 weeks on skins. So yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely full body, but full body not in terms of fruits. Like it's not a fruit bomb. There's definitely a mix of old world in there, like lots. Like I said, forest floor, wet leaves in the fall, all of that aspect, like mushroomy. Truly Burgundian style, but some good weight on the mid palate. Um, so I would say to me that 2020, this is a stunning Pinot. Um, I give that a 92 plus for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, this is really, really, really good.
We were so far very impressed, especially with the Burgundian ones from Roche that we've tasted so far. We've tasted a lot of them. But as you can see, they've opened up their library. So there's some of these library ones that we won't taste because that would be like opening like 4 cases at once. But for a tasting Thursday, they're opening up the library. So if you guys see like a back vintage that you want to test out alongside the current vintage, that's kind of a fun thing to do for tasting Thursday, right? So that's why.
Yeah, this is definitely a solid, solid Pinot Noir with refinement. This is because there's a great weight on the mid palate, but there's some floral elegance in there as well with some savory edges. This is really cool, really, really cool. And I like the tannin too.
So, like, how did you label mine? I see B nuance 2220. What does this mean? Bordeaux?
Where do you see that?
There's B on the B. I don't know. There's 3 reds.
Oh,
here.
Bordeaux. This is the Bordeaux. Like this is your Bordeaux. You don't have the Pinot in front of you. This is the Bordeaux 3-pack.
Okay.
You go see B 2020.
So I have
B20.
Bordeaux and I have Rhône and you have Burgundy.
I have Burgundy. I have them all.
This is what's so fun about this winery. They have experience with each of these regions, like in the regions, and then they came out to the Naramata Bench and the Okanagan, and they're making wines here with those old world traditions, but here. It's pretty cool. And the wines are really well made. Like, we're very much enjoying these.
Well, I mean, when you grew up at Château Les Carmes-Aubryon, I mean, it's hard to be more infused into the Bordeaux tradition. Yeah, I mean, there's a picture of Les Carmes-Aubryon at the winery, and she was showing me where the room where she grew up. This was my room. Grandma and grandpa lived on the main floor. My family lived at the top floor. My room was right there. So that's pretty cool, right?
Very cool. Yeah, piece of history. Very, very, very fun.
Yeah. So I already
and
on the nose.
So on his own, Dylan, who's married to Penelope, and they run the winery together, both winemakers, right? Dylan, on his own, decides to, after he's grown up in North Vancouver, decides to go to Burgundy because he likes cycling. And while he's there working for a cycling store, he ends up picking up winemaking and becomes a winemaker and gets trained in Burgundy. Meanwhile, Penelope's in Bordeaux and grows up at this well-known chateau and learns winemaking and takes over the family winery there. And then they don't meet in Burgundy or Bordeaux.
Well, because she wanted to do two harvests a year. So she went down to New Zealand to do a second harvest because they're at the opposite end, right? And that's why they met.
Talk about a way to accelerate your experience. You get like 2 years in one if you're a winemaker, right? So she goes down to New Zealand, and that's where they meet. Kind of fun, hey?
Yeah, and instead of moving back either in Burgundy or Bordeaux, no, they came to Canada on the Naramata Bench. So
Go figure, right?
I know, right? I know. And they're making some outstanding wine. So now I have here the 2024 Dundee Hill, so from the Willamette Valley, and that's what I thought, right? This is more fruity, this is different, but there's a really great complexity on that wine. This is serious Pinot. This is not California fruit bomb type of Pinot. This is really Oregonian style. This is really Willamette Valley. I like the red cherry start, but I like the savoriness as well. So 2024 vintage. I mean, this is really, really young. It's just been released, but it's super interesting to see the difference of terroir between Naramata Bench and Willamette Valley, Because when you talk about iconic place to make Pinot Noir and Chardonnay in North America, I mean, Willamette Valley comes first in terms of Pinot Noir. Okay, so I mean, yeah, this is solid. This is beautiful. Super elegant Pinot. At this stage, I will let that sit for a few years because the tannin are a little bit upfront. But beautiful fruit presence, great length, wonderful length. So yeah, this is definitely to me a 92-point wine. Uh, we know when a guy who learned winemaking in Burgundy works with grapefruit from Willamette Valley. I mean, how can you make a bad wine, right? So this is awesome. I have no problem recommending that Pinot Noir, even if the fruits were not grown in Canada. And if we go back and we talk about the 2024 vintage, I think we touched about this point 100 million times here on the show. We all know what happened. Complete loss of crop. No one had grapes. So for small family winery like Roche, they had to do something, just like Black Market had to do something, just like most of the wineries we know, they went down either in Washington State. Most of them, a few of them, like Pinot lovers, they went to Willamette Valley, to people they knew. Truck the grapes overnight from harvest all the way to the winery, got to the winery, pressed the grape when they got here, and fermented on site at the winery. So here's the story.
Which is really cool. And Mike has a really good question. Is there a reason why wineries who partook in that special U.S. grape acquisition project back in 2024, long before Trump and the tariffs and all the fiascos, why are they releasing their wine so early? It's a great question. It's maybe something we can ask on Tasting Thursday. I have a feeling it was some kind of botched government policy where they have no clue about winemaking. And they said, oh, you have to sell it by a certain date. Otherwise, we're going to tax it like
Exactly. They're gonna lose the accommodation that they made for that specific vintage. The inventory has to be gone and depleted by a certain date. So
something like that. And a lot of people complained at the time. So first of all, it was sprung very last minute. So it didn't give any warning to the wineries. Wineries already had done it. And then they learn, oh, now we can't release it when we really want to. We have to release it early. Otherwise, there's this new tax that will basically mean we'll lose our shirt on these wines.
Exactly. So, and that's why the white was a better proposition than the reds, and most of the wineries went mostly for whites because it's more of a crush ferment release, and it's a different story. For Dylan, though, what was interesting, I had a conversation with him, is that, well, I'm passionate of Pinot Noir. And Willamette Valley is such an incredible source of Pinot Noir grapes. And that's why I really wanted to make one, I had the chance to make one Dundee Hill Willamette Pinot, so why not? But yeah, just like you mentioned, Mike, is a very good point that now he's stuck in releasing it very early. What's the price on that one, Mira?
I think it's $49.90 as well.
Okay.
Let me just double check that. The Dundee Hills AVA, aged and fermented on the Naramata bench, $49.90.
So same price as the Tradition. So that's what we have here. This is the two. And if I go here, okay, made in. I like the way they said made in Naramata, grown in grown in the Dundee Hill, Oregon. So
nice.
And I'm sure that Dylan will have some details about the grower they found when we meet on Zoom. Hey, you can't see?
I can't see what that says.
Whoops.
No. As far as oak, what's happening with oak in these? Because it says it'd be nice if some of the reds could see more oak. I'm guessing you mean
Well, because it's the length of the oak, right? So the grapes came Mira in that like late in 2024.
Oh, so they have to be released earlier, so they can't have it as long on the oak.
So if you spend just 12 months in
Ah,
oak, right?
yeah.
So that's it's maybe the lack. Well, it doesn't have as much.
Stupid government. Oh my God. We can't have our oak because of the government. That's crazy.
Hey, there's always a way. There's always a way. Some winemaker
Yeah.
they use oak staves for that vintage because they knew they didn't have as much time, so they just threw not chips but staves, and that just increased the oak contact. But I mean, this is an elegant wine, but this is a wine with a beautiful finish, beautiful long finish. So I mean, if we get for people who gets the Burgundy 3 pack for that Zoom tasting, I mean, it's worth tasting it along because it's fun to taste along a wine with a great source of fruits. I mean, iconic Dundee Hill. But or you just stash it in the cellar, and this gonna age. To me, in 3 years, this wine's gonna be an absolute beauty. Um,
Yeah,
so
like you
yeah,
said,
this
of
is where
aging
I
out.
stand here. 92 plus Chard, 92 plus 2020 tradition, like Tradition Pinot, and I would say here, this is definitely at least a 91 points, like something like that. I'm gonna review them all tomorrow, in more in depth and solidify and just like readjust the score. But for now, this is a beautiful wine.
Yeah, Mike, it should come out tomorrow night. So just to some of you guys, to our tasting Thursday crew, and then Carl will have his tasting notes the next day, most likely. So,
Yeah,
but
and the
yeah, you'll be able
score,
to
all
reserve,
the yeah.
one or two or three packs, depending on what kind of party you're having at your house on tasting Thursday, um, and give these guys a go. They also have they have a very wide selection of wines at Roche. So for tasting Thursday, obviously we're going to talk about some of the interesting stories, and we'll go region by region, right?
Exactly.
But they also have like incredible rosé. They have a Zweigelt rosé that we had
Oh,
recently.
I mean, I just finished the tasting notes on that. This is so much fun. Zweigel rosé. It was like, yeah, I like. There's even a tannin. There might be a Seigneur rosé because there's a good tannin on that wine. It's really, really cool.
Absolutely. So, Mike, great question. The next tasting Thursday is April 30th, and we are actually going to be in Ontario for that. So it's kind of fun. They're going to be here in BC, like right across. I'll be able to see where Penelope and Dylan are from where we are, but we're not going to be here. Hopefully, there's going to be a horror movie being filmed in our house that week, and we are going to we're going to be away that whole week, and also because we're touring with members in Prince Edward County that weekend, we'll be already in that neck of the woods. So most likely Ottawa on April 30th.
That Tradition 2020 is a heck of a Pinot. This is so good. Ooh. Yeah, really
Mike
liking
will
that.
be in Venice. You know what's crazy, Mike, is Ralph and Elaine, who've been to the last few tasting Thursdays, will also be in Italy on that day. But I think they're going to be in Tuscany, not in Venice. So you'll be on opposite sides of Italy. So you guys should each stop in and say, hey, it's like 1 a.m. Look, here I am in Venice. Here I am in Tuscany, and make us all jealous, I'll have to report back how it is out there. Ooh, what you tasting there, Carl?
That's a Tradition, the Pinot Noir. I'm just going back to it more and more. This is that Pinot is gonna age for a long time. Definitely. I mean, it's a 2020, 6 years old, and still feel really young. This Pinot will age a long time. Holy smokes, this is so good. Yeah. So
Fun. So
now
that's the Burgundy pack. And so
that's the
speaking of this, you might have seen the link on our story the other day. We're starting the sort of wait list / vote for the next regions we want to go to. We have so many cool people we can be partnering for these international trips, and we're just so excited for it. So it's time to start planning Burgundy 2.0 now that 1.0 is nearly wrapped up in terms of details. And we're also looking at where else, because if we're going to be in Europe in June, we might as well drive to a couple other places and scope it out, right? So is it Italy? Is it Spain and Portugal? New Zealand? So you'll see that link on our stories. And if you're thinking of going on a trip with us at some point in the next couple of years, you should definitely check off what your preferences are. So, Carl Boucher, which region are you going next? Rhône or Burgundy?
Rhône. We were already in Burgundy. Yeah. So because we have 2 white in the Rhône pack. So we have a 100% Roussanne varietal, and we have a Viognier Marsanne. So these 2 whites, I'm going to go, the golden color is 100% Roussanne.
Wow, that's lively on the palate. That Roussanne. That is fun on the palate. Wow, I really love that. I've had a couple Roussannes, and they kind of piss me off a little bit sometimes because they are a little bit kind of, I don't know, they're a little like more serious than I expect, I guess. But this is so lively. I really love
it's lively, it's flinty. There's tropical fruit, but there's also a line of citrus. There's a lot going on. There's even some white spice on the back end. This is I think, Mira, you mentioned it amazingly. It's very lively. It's awesome. There's a great energy in that wine. And that a mix of tropical, like even including pineapple, but not pineapple sweet, like pineapple, grilled pineapple type of thing.
Yes.
This is a really fun wine.
Yeah. Even being sick, that's just fun. That just wakes me right up. That's zingy.
And this is bone dry.
Surprising.
Yeah. Oh.
Lovely.
Yeah, almost like nutty a little bit as well. Like, when you get an oaky Chardonnay, like that little nuttiness, I get that as well, but in a different way. Maybe like toasted almond. Like wild white spice in the end. I really, really love that. But yeah,
I'm very
grilled pineapple, tropical, ripe orchard fruit. There's a lot, but there's that flintiness at the end, which is really, really fun. I mean, this is definitely a 92 points. I believe that wine was 35% new oak, 65% neutral. So there's a good amount of new oak in there as well. Really, really fun. Wow. I think that's where I get all that spice and that almond part on the back end. Yeah, really cool. Really, really cool. 92 plus. Wow.
That's probably my favorite Roussanne to date. Honestly, that I've tasted from Canada.
Wow, I really freaking love that.
Yeah, and you know what? We're having a side conversation about Croatia. Mike and Jen are going to drive from Venice to Croatia. You guys, that is so cool. And Tracy and Jim have that on their bucket list, and I don't blame you. I've heard so many amazing things about Croatia. So Mike and Jen, you guys better report back. Pictures, you know. Tell us.
Outside of a Chardonnay, it might be the best white wine I've tasted this year.
Which one?
That Roussanne.
It's really good, yes.
Holy smokes, that it's good. Oh, and that will age.
I'm telling you, I'm sick, and I'm like, woo! I am now awake and excited about this.
And this is, okay, I have Viognier Marsanne. So Marsanne is the brother of Roussanne. That's soft,
very
that's
nice.
real. Yeah. So Viognier Marsanne. This is a ton of apricot in there. Apricot, honeycomb.
Very nice nose.
Yeah, poach apple. Super fruity nose. Okay,
Wow.
This is 90% Viognier, 10% Marsanne.
This has got to be my favorite Rhône whites that I've had from Canada. These two. Like I said, like I found a lot of Viogniers, Marsannes, Roussannes. To me, they're like just like so like big for whites. They kind of piss me off. But these are so flavorful.
So this is different. This is softer, more fruit forward, a little bit more floral. No, definitely not the same oak profile. I'm not sure what the kind of oak we have, but very much, not as much oak. There's that classic Viognier spice on the back end, though, but without that flintiness that I got in the Roussanne. That feeling is not there. I would say much more orange blossom, much more on the blood orange, apricot, lots of apricot actually. Yeah.
Really nice.
Not as bright of acid that I found on the Roussanne. I think that's classic Viognier.
So Tracy has an Australian Roussanne in the cellar.
But the finish is really awesome. Really, really, really awesome. This is apricot and peach all along. Soft and just awesome. There's enough weight to do a lot of things here with wine and food pairing.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, if you ask me which one of the two that I prefer, I go with the Roussanne. The Roussanne is serious. Yeah. The Roussanne is geeky as fuck. There's just so much. Like I'm like a kid at tasting that. I think like if I promise that I'm letting you go to bed tonight, when I come back from the kids, I think I'm going through the whole bottle, tasting that until 2 o'clock in the morning.
There's a really nice, like the finish goes for a very long time on that Roussanne.
Yeah. And the Vio, the Vio Marsanne.
It's not chalky, but there's like you were saying, like
no, it's flinty. It's flinty. It's almost that's flinty. I know, and I know where you're going with the chalky, almost as well. Yeah, both can connect, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Fuck, that's nice. Good. I think the Roussanne, I go 93. This is so freaking good. Wow, I love that. And I rarely taste 100% Roussanne, and I'm like, fuck, this is awesome. This is really, really cool. And like the Vio Marsanne is no slouch, but anyway.
Yeah. So Jim has a good question. I mean, first of all, it's $39.90 including tax, which I think for 100% varietal single vineyard Roussanne, I think that's a really good price. It's a pretty rare wine, and it's rare to have it single vineyard and rare to have it that good. So Jim's asking, do you think that the Roussanne and then the Viognier Marsanne are age-worthy?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%, 100%. I would love to see where exactly the vineyard is from. I think it's Naramata Bench.
Hmm.
I think it's Bench.
So yeah, it says rare single varietal, single vineyard Roussanne fermented in French oak. And
Not sure.
for the Bio Marsanne, it's
Because I don't have the technical sheet, so yeah.
oh, excuse me. I went
Bless
to
you, bless you. And you know what? With the Roussanne, I'm seeing 13.5% alcohol on the bottle. It doesn't feel that way at all. At all. Wow, this is so lively for a 13.5. So I think now it gives me some weird idea.
oh,
Because to get my wife drunk, it's the perfect thing here. So but
there
don't
you
tell
go.
her, okay?
So I don't really get drunk.
No, you don't. That's true.
But
That's true. No, this is awesome. I think I'm going with 93 for the Roussanne, and I'm going 90 plus 91 for the Vio Marsanne.
I'm dying to know now with the Roussanne from Roche. Let's see here. The single varietal. It's the 22, right?
Yeah.
All right. So aged in oak for 9 months. Does not tell me. Ooh, it's unfiltered, which is interesting.
Texture, yeah, texture wise.
Yeah. Doesn't tell me if there's like new oak necessarily. What would you say?
The Roussanne is at 30% new oak.
Is it? It says on the bottle.
No, I feel like I came across that.
Okay. 35% new barriques and 65% 300-liter hogshead barrels for slow fermentation.
Yeah, those are bigger, but the barrique are the 250, and the 300 are bigger barrels, so less contact.
There's all these fancy notes. You can tell that both of them are winemakers because it's very nerdy. When you look at their notes, they're like, the wine completed malolactic conversion during the winter months and then aged for 9 months on gross lees with no batonnage. In the late spring, the wine received a small addition of SO2 before being racked from the barrel, blended lightly cold stabilized and bottled, unfined and unfiltered in July 2023. Like these are definitely wine nerds when you hear things like that. Isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's only 150 cases made of that. So tiny, small production. We get the first bid because that was released, I think, like
frozen. I'm frozen. Oh, that's terrible. Because when I look up something, I gotta stop that. Okay.
No, you're right. You're right. You're back.
I was
You're
frozen.
back.
All I was saying is like they're definitely wine nerds because you can tell by the way that they leave notes on their wines in such level of detail that you normally see only at like Leaning Post, Batchelder, a few of these wineries that we love. Well, Roche is doing that too. They're very much wine nerds, and you can tell that they're both winemakers with very specific experience and preferences that they're trying to convey in their winemaking. It's pretty cool.
Exactly right. Okay, so let's get to the pièce de résistance of the of the Rhône pack. And I wrote in my tasting notes already, this is the best 2021 Syrah that I tasted from the Okanagan. I mean, 2021 was not my favorite vintage of all. I mean, when I tasted the Silva Syrah was great. I tasted 22. I was like, holy fuck, this is so good. This is 100% Similkameen Syrah. Okay, all of these fruits are from the Similkameen. When I tasted that 3 days ago, I ran to you, Mira, and I said, fuck, you need to taste that. And you were like, what are this? Like, what is that? And yeah, so this is my 94 points. Similkameen Syrah 2021. It is absolutely freaking fantastic.
Love it. Yeah, I think 2021 people get scared off because they're like, oh, there were lots of fires and a heat dome in 2021. But I think
This is from the
heat dome for some varietals, when it was managed well, is great because you got the bricks, you got the richness. And if there was no smoke right around there, then you're golden.
You are golden. And where it's from the bypass road vineyard in Kiramio is clean, clean, clean. There is no smoke whatsoever there.
So that's the Similkameen.
It is the Similkameen. And I mean, I knew before I read the tasting note, there was only 70 cases made of that, by the way. Not what? 70 cases available. There was only 70 cases made.
That's tiny.
Okay?
Baby
tiny,
production.
Tiny, tiny. When I tasted, it's 33% new oak.
Yeah.
When I tasted that, I knew it was Similkameen. I knew it was Similkameen because it's rugged. Because it's that grainy tannin, that dustiness, ruggedness, the smokiness, smoked meat. It was like, holy shit, this is. We need to take a picture of that wine, that taste, and say Similkameen here. Like it is just so Similkameen on the profile. I really like that. Holy smokes, that's good.
I love it too. Yeah, again, it passes the being sick test. I still get, it's not shy. Like I get a lot of flavors. I get a lot on the nose still, even if I'm congested.
I mean, this is just getting started. This is just getting started. There's even a little mintiness, like, I don't know if it's pine needle or mint, but there's something in there as well on the nose, especially.
I get mint on the middle.
Yeah, so yeah, that might be your cough medicine, but different conversation here now. I'm just joking. I
actually think when your taste buds are disrupted, it's kind of interesting because they pick up totally different things.
That stony minerality on the back end is just like, fuck, I love that. I love that. Nice. White pepper, like this is Syrah to the T, but that ruggedness of the Similkameen. You know, when you taste sometimes like the, let's say the Golden Miles, right? The round and plush Syrah. This is completely different. This is completely different and very, very, very good. Okay.
Very nice.
That's the Similkameen pack. A 93 and a 94 points, okay?
Very good. And then we have these beauties. I think these are the ones I'm most excited about, honestly.
Yeah, and look at those bottles, right? I mean, this is a really freaking cool.
So they have a really fun story involving a lawsuit with those bottles that I think will come out on Tasting Thursday on the
we're definitely
public version. But there's a reason why those bottles look the way they do right now.
Yep. So how about I'm getting to the Bordeaux blends now. Let me get some 2020 in my glass. I will do here. That's the Nuance 22 and the 22 Chateau.
So these are the Bordeaux styles. I was just telling Carl, I was like, you know, we have so many different sizes and types of bottles in Canada because we can be as creative as we want. But then I'm looking at those Bordeaux style bottles. They're all like the same. And yeah, I think if you go to any other part of the wine world, they're like standardized bottles. Go around the Okanagan and you get like 20 different kinds of bottles, right?
You got that right. You got that right.
So once in a while it causes problems with shipping because the bottles are all different sizes trying to fit into the same little compartments in the shipping box. All right. So tell us about these Bordeaux's because I have a feeling we have to get to Bordeaux after we get to Burgundy at some point because
I think so. I think so.
I love Merlot and blends and I mean.
So we'll start with the nuance, okay? We'll start with that.
Nuance. Yes, tell me.
So we'll start with that. 47% Merlot, 34% Cap Sauv, and 19% Cap Franc. Okay?
Yeah. And their labels are pretty cool with these ones that you see the art on. They contacted a whole bunch of artists during COVID, I believe. And they all painted art inspired by the wines while drinking the wines. I thought it was such a cool idea.
So Merlot is from Narmada. So that's the bench Merlot that we really, really, really like.
I love the bench Merlot.
The Franc and the Sauv is from Oliver, okay?
Okay. So wait, I'm confused now. So I have a 20, a 22, and another 22?
Yeah. 22 Nuance, 22 Chateau. So
okay,
Nuance
has an N on it for nuance. Okay.
You got that right. You got that right. And the nuance, it's a little bit more of the second label of a chateau. If you go back to the tradition in Bordeaux, like their top barrels are going to go to their top wine, and usually chateau has a second label. Okay, the nuance is a little bit that, right? Like nice. Only 10% new oak. So it's more of a easy drinking. I don't know. I haven't tasted yet.
I freaking love these Bordeaux reds. I gotta say. Yeah, I'm very impressed with Roche. I cannot believe that it's taken us almost 6 years of exploring Canadian wines before we discovered
that's good.
Roche.
That is really good. How much is that? $36 for that Nuance 22. Really, really fucking good.
I think that's including tax. So
maybe not. Maybe not.
No, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. I will check.
Okay, so this is really good. Let me check the other two
those
now.
Prices are, it looks like they are including tax. So that is fantastic value.
So the 2020, very savory on the nose. Very, very savory. Now, I want to know what's the blend here. I think they're probably mostly Merlot, probably. Let's see if I can find that. Chateau 20. 54% Merlot, 23% Cap Franc, 23% Cap Sauv. This wine is exclusive to Wine Club members or Carl's Wine Club members.
That's us. I love it.
Yeah, savory on the nose. I like that. I really like that. Super like that. There's also that mint coming out of the nose here.
So mint, is that more of a Merlot thing, Carl?
Mm-hmm.
No. Yes.
Holy fuck. This is serious. This is serious. Now, okay. The lady who made that wine grew up in the Pessac-Léognan, grew up in Bordeaux, on one of the corner of Chateau Aubryon, who became Calme Aubryon. This is, if you put that blind to me, and I would say like, yeah, this is Bordeaux-like. The tannin are Bordeaux-like. the texture is Bordeaux like. I'm curious to see what's the oak influence here, but there's a decent oak in there as well.
Tell you. Yeah, these are very tasty wines.
Mm-hmm. Tobacco, cigar box, cedar. Yeah, the tannins are like, okay, this is not a wine that you probably drink just now. This is a wine that has to sit for a bit. Not sure if I want to taste the 2022.
So
That
young.
2020 Chateau is really good. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Wow, I want to see something.
So the chateaus are sort of the more premium version. They're like $59.90 including tax, and it's the nuance that's the $36 including tax. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'm tasting them, and at this stage, the nuance is really doing well.
Oh yeah, the nuance is super approachable. Like yeah, absolutely.
I'm guessing the reason why the chateaus are higher price point is they were built to age.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we have I have a bottle of the 2017 behind me as well. I haven't opened it yet. I think I'm saving that one for near the tasting Thursday, because I think we have 2 cases available of the 17 as well. But this is a beauty.
Really nice.
Oh yeah. And that 22, let's give it a try.
Yeah, so the chateaus, we have 17, 18, 19 available in small quantities at the library.
Oh, spicy burst of spice.
You know, I like this Tasting Thursday idea because we get access to these super rare wines. The wineries are like, oh, we only have 12 of this one and we have 24 of this one. But if even one person who's joining us on that night, you know, has one of those open, it's really interesting experiment to see how it's aged, right? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that 22, there's more freshness. I feel like it's dancing a little bit more than 20. Obviously, this wine has to sit for a few years, but yeah.
Christmas in April.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure am I more excited about the Bordeaux or about the Rhône? I mean,
well, I can't say for the whites because there's a Syrah. There's like a 93, 94 point Syrah. So, I mean, holy smokes. And the Burgundies are pretty phenomenal too. So, I mean, we tasted that Chardonnay.
Yeah, Chard's fantastic.
Side by side, at least 3 or 4 other really nice Chardonnays, and it just kept kicking everyone's ass. Like, it was really good. Well, this is going to be fun, guys. So we'll keep exploring these wines. I mentioned we're going to have the link out to the Insiders tomorrow. And over the next few days, we'll share Carl's tasting notes, scores from these wines. And you can pre-order a tasting pack to taste with the winemakers, Penelope and Dylan Roche, on April 30th. And then after that, we're going to feature this winery to the club. Now, while people are waiting for their tasting packs and we're waiting for Tasting Thursday with Roche, we are going to feature ice cellars. So if you're here, you know now ice cellars will be the next winery we'll discover. And that's also very exciting. And I'm really looking forward to that live with Tolga Isel, and possibly also Elif Isel. So that's going to be really neat to chat with them because sadly, as many of you know, Adnan Aysel, who started Aysellers with Elif, his wife, passed away very suddenly from a heart attack just a few years ago. And now Tolga, his son, has taken that over. So it's very exciting.
The length of these two chateaus are insane. It just keeps going and going and going. It's really, really, really good. These wines are spectacular. Wow. Wow. I'm not sure if I'm ready to give them scores yet. I would say Nuance is probably 91 points, to my opinion. Super approachable. Okay. The other two are in the 93 range. Barely cut from the same cloth. I would say that 2020, it's still, I would say like as much like more structured than the 22. And it's already 6 years old. So these wines are really built to age and they are really, really, really good. So yeah.
Geez, that 20?
Yeah,
still
I know, right?
So much going in it.
I know, right? The finish does not stop going, just keeps going and going.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
I can't believe it's
I mean, these are spectacular wines across the board. Awesome, fantastic wines in different, I mean, from different origin, in the sense that, yeah, the Bordeaux influence with Penelope, the Burgundy influence with Dylan, and the project with Dwight Sick. So for the Rhône one. On the Rhône one. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna have available for you guys tomorrow. We're gonna have these three packs available. You guys do whatever you want with that. And we're gonna be
if you're gonna be in Italy and Croatia, like poor Jen and Mike, you might have to miss out on that one, but we'll save some. So the next time we'll see you, maybe we can bring a bottle or two to share with you, and I'm sure you will be having a ton of fun out there. You have to keep us posted on how that goes. But if you can join us on April 30th for Tasting Thursday, it's going to be epic. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you want to join us in Prince Edward County, there's still a couple spots left. That's May 1st to 3rd, Prince Edward County, right in the middle between Ottawa and Toronto. Beautiful little wine region that's making absolutely world-class Pinot Noir and Chardonnay and other varietals. So we can't wait to explore that region with you guys. There's 5 couples joining us at this point, and we can definitely accommodate at least 1 or 2 more couples so that we can meet with winemakers and really get to know Prince Edward County and taste it side by side, Naramata Bench, and side by side fun other regions, Niagara. So it's going to be a blast.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, a lot of fun, a lot of great wines here, and thank you for joining.
Yeah, it was great to see y'all. Sorry, it was a kind of a Mira sick day, but what's better than having some nice Bordeaux and Rhônes and Burgundy style wines from the Naramata Bench, from the Similkameen. Amazing.
That's it. Oh man, that's Syrah. Ooh, and that Roussanne. That Roussanne has to be my surprise of the night. My absolute coup de
Roussanne. The Roussanne.
Yeah, Roussanne.
The Roussanne, yeah.
Yeah,
I think they're both very good, but I love the Roussanne.
Did I say
especially? So thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, yeah.
Cheers, everybody. It's nice
Canadian wine lovers.
Thank you so much.
Carl's Wine Club members, you guys have a great evening, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Have a good night.